All right, let's look at this factoring by grouping idea one more time. Let's go through example 3 here and make sure that we know what we're doing when we're trying to factor these polynomials that have these multiple terms when we have like 4 terms in them, how we factor out stuff that's common in here. So this factoring by grouping idea is going to be important here because if you notice, in our 4 terms, we don't have common factors. We don't have something that we could divide everything here by. So for example, we can't divide everything by u because there's not a u in everything. Can't divide everything by v because some of these are missing v's. Can't divide everything by 2 because we have some odd numbers over here. Can't divide everything by 3 because we have an even number, things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to make groups that are easier to work with. One group is going to be this one, and the other group is going to be the other 2 terms. Now, you could have picked different groups. You just kind of, and there's not just one way to solve it, but mainly you choose the group by identifying that there's things that are shared within those groups. So within the blue group, what do you notice being shared? Well, hopefully you notice that there is a u in both of these. In the red group, what do you notice being shared? Well, there's not a v in both of these, but 5 and 15 are both things that can be divided by 5. Okay, so they both have a factor of 5 in them. So when you look at the next line here, they've shown that one group was our blue group, and the other one they're just showing is our red group, our 5v plus 15. Okay, so now on the next line, they're doing something new. What they've done here is they've said, all right, we have 2 groups. We have our blue group and our red group. And since we have separated this down to a 2-term polynomial, well, we know what to do with a 2-term polynomial. We just try to take out whatever is our common factor. So what did we say was common here? I think we said it was a u, right? We said that you can find a u in there. And what else could you find? Well, what can you divide 2 by that you can also divide 6 by? You can divide them both by 2. So we have 2u as our common factor in this little polynomial. Okay, when we look down here, just to check that it makes sense, 2u times v would be 2uv. 2u times 3 would be 6u. Now, where does that v plus 3 come from? Well, that's just when we are breaking down those 2 terms into their factors. So let's remind ourselves of that process once again real quick. When we have 2uv, that is the same as 2 times u times v, and 6u is the same as 2 times 3 times u. The 2u was our common factor that we took out front. And what's left over? Well, v and 3 are left over, so that's why they're shown up here. Okay, same story on the red side. If we look at the red side, then 5v plus 15, well, I can remove 5 from both of those. I can factor out a 5, right? Because 5 times v is 5v, and 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, so we have taken 4 terms. We have put them into 2 different groups of 2 terms each, and we've taken those 2-term polynomials and we've factored them down. Okay, so now the blue group has become just 1 term, a product of 2u and the quantity v plus 3. And the red polynomial, I am still here. Thank you for asking. Let's get rid of that little box. The red polynomial is broken down where we factor out a 5, so it becomes 5 times v plus 3. Okay, so now what we have is we have this long expression here, and it's something that we can work with a little better. Originally, we said that there was not anything common in all 4 of these, and yet now we do have something common between this left side and this right side. So what do you see that's in common there? Well, notice that v plus 3 is common to both groups. So that is our common factor in this 2-term polynomial that we've arrived at. Okay, what do we do when we have a common factor? Well, we factor it out. So in the end, our fully factored answer, let's go with some different color here, is going to be v plus 3 And what was v plus 3 multiplied by? Well, it was multiplied by two different things. It was multiplied by 2u, and it was also multiplied by 5. Okay, so we arrive at our fully factored answer, which is v plus 3 times 2u plus 5. We've taken these four different terms and we've just turned it into a product of two factors.